What's up, guys? So normally I'm trying to do vlogs once a week for the ultimate tier on our Patreon. However, I'm going to be doing this for both Patreon and YouTube. I'm going to post it to both places. And until the new studio gets set up, this is where my thoughts from the chair is going to be coming from, because I am required to make vlogs for our Patreon every week. This week, I want to talk about I versus you statements, and I want to compound on the video that we released to Patreon. This video will be going to YouTube on April 12th, I think. So like a month from now. Peaches and I sat down, did an I versus you statement, a breakdown, how that looks, how to improve on that. And it's part one of multiple videos that are coming. We did drop it to Patreon early. So again, it will come into April. So this is relevant to you guys. I just want to touch on a couple of things. We live in a society of screens. There's one in front of me now. There'll be two in front of me when I edit this video. There'll be one on my phone constantly. There's two in my car. The TV screens, there's one behind me here. There's one in my living room. There's one on the wall in my poker room. Like, there are screens surrounding us all the time. And we are inundated with information constantly. This conversation came from a comment that was left on Patreon from one of our subscribers. And I would like to expound on their thought process, but they said that with the advent of dramatization in television and the clickbaity things that people do to watch people argue and get that fix of adrenaline from watching people or making themselves feel superior because they are looking down on the people being argued with, or whatever the case may be, it teaches people to be combative or be dramatic when having normal conversations, because we are not having real life interactions the way that we used to. And I thought, damn, that's a really good point. So while we as parents allow our children to watch TV, they get screen time with tablets and they're able to watch whatever they want on Netflix or go in their bedroom and pick what they want to watch on their television, the parents are allowing children to watch ample amounts of television, tons of screen time with tablets, and in doing so, young minds are being developed with over-dramatized conversation skills, because it makes for good TV. It makes for click, it makes for watch time, it makes for people to be engaged, subscriptions, followers. So the more over the top the conversations are, and the more emotional they get, and the more emotional you feel watching, the more likely you are to adapt to those conversation styles. However, when you're watching TV shows that are made to make you angry, or made to make you cry, or made to make you feel a love for a character, having that translate into your life that is not applicable to those situations and is not a drama television show or an over-dramatized thing that you're watching, it creates an issue with the way that we communicate with each other. The I versus you statements are a difficult thing to begin with, because you're having a conversation with somebody where you're trying to get your point across in a hurt or elevated emotion by giving them the information without blame, contempt, or criticism. Just fucking hard. So much so that while Peaches and I were sitting here trying to have the recording that we were doing, because we have gotten fairly good at using I versus you statements, we got scenarios sent in from our Patreon and had a back and forth, and we still found ourselves using I statements, or I'm sorry, turning I statements into you statements, or we would make an I statement followed with blame, criticism, or contempt. There's a lot that goes into communication skills. There are people out there whose entire job is to be as diplomatic as possible, to maintain diplomatic relations between countries to prevent war. Sometimes it's a whole lot easier to remove yourself from the conversation and give what-if scenarios than it is to actually have the conversation yourself. So for those of you who are on Patreon who got to watch the I versus you statement video, my challenge to you is to pause the video with the examples that we've given and give a scenario on how you would address the situation to your partner, and have them try to find the blame, criticism, or contempt in the way that they're laying it out. That way they can go, okay, that was blame, that was criticism, or that was contempt, so that you can learn their communication style, you can learn their conflict style, and then you can have better conversations moving forward with them on how to do those things. Now that that's out of the way, because I do owe Patreon a vlog, YouTube, this is just bullshit you don't have to watch if you don't want to. It's not really relevant to you, but it is relevant to Patreon. Our studio is next to a dance studio. It's no secret. We've made lots of videos talking about how loud it is over there and how we have to navigate around their schedules in order to record. One of my best friend's house just went up for rent. My other best friend owns a printing business, and we have made it work so that my studio is being subletted to the printing company for a sales office, and my studio is being moved into the house that we're now renting in order to make that a viable option for recording. It's a 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom with an office that's fairly big and a huge kitchen. So we're going to be moving everything out of our studio over the next 2 weeks and into this home. I'm waiting on the lease to come through today or tomorrow. Once I sign the lease, I will be going straight to the studio, packaging up all of our t-shirt, shelving, camera equipment, everything that is currently not being used, and taking it to the new house and trying to set everything up. Once the internet is set up at the new house, we'll actually have dedicated internet that we can stream on that's much better than what we have at home. It'll be comparative to what we have at the studio. And we are going to move everything in there. We will be going live on Twitch, doing Twitch streams because we are gaming now. Peaches broke her elbow and decided she wanted to try to play Call of Duty Zombies, and we both really enjoyed the time together. We are playing zombies with people from Discord, which I think is super cool because of our Patreon community. It lets us connect to them on a different level. But we will be able to do individual live streams so that when you watch us on Twitch, it'll have her camera, my camera, her stream, and my stream, so that as we're running around the world playing zombies, you can see what everyone is doing and what we look like while we're doing it, which I am super excited about because we really enjoyed playing zombies. We were going to be setting up our own offices over there so that we will have dedicated areas to do coaching calls because coaching calls are coming. We're working on that now. We're still trying to figure out the pricing because we don't want to be so expensive that normal people can't get help, but we don't want to be so inexpensive that we are wasting our time with people who just want to waste our time with bullshit calls. We are moving all of our live stream stuff from the studio over. She's going to have a room set up for her garden segment. And we will have it set up so that when people come in to visit, to do interviews, we have an area where we can go live and still record from and do multiple camera angles and all of that shit. So I'm super fucking pumped over that. Knowing that we will have a dedicated house with dedicated internet will go a long way. The biggest thing, though, I think, is that, other than Twitch, because I'm excited about that, we are going to have a full-size kitchen that is bigger than our current kitchen in our home that has an island on it. That island does not have a sink, so it's just a giant, like, 6-foot by 4-foot marble countertop because she's doing apothecary. She's doing her bath bombs, or not, sorry, her bath bombs, her bath line, and she's doing cooking videos. She's done a couple of them for Patreon, but we're going to be moving into more of that for the Life account and Patreon. There'll be a lot of behind-the-scenes stuff that goes to Patreon, but we'll be using our Life account to do cooking videos from Peaches so that we can spread the content in multiple platforms. AJ and I have talked. We've created a Clips channel, or we are reviving the Clips channel so that people who don't want to watch a 2-hour podcast can watch 10 to 15-minute clips. And if they enjoy the content as much as I'm hoping they will then go to the main channel on YouTube and watch from there. So we have a lot of things going on behind the scenes, and I am overly excited about that. We fly to Arizona at the end of the month. We have a live I don't know why I keep saying live stream. We have a meet and greet set up for the 27th, I believe. I'd have to look at the calendar. But we will be doing a meet and greet in Sedona, Arizona at the end of the month. We have an interview with Pastor Mark Driscoll at the church out there. I'm really excited about that as well. Peaches and I have a photo shoot. There's a lot of cool shit happening behind the scenes right now. We're working on a second meet and greet for the year that will happen probably at the end of April, early May at Dave & Buster's somewhere in Southwest Florida. I don't want to say the location yet because I'm not sure, but I'm thinking probably around the Tampa area. We're working on doing another one in the Tennessee area sometime during the summer, and then I would like to do something in Vegas towards the end of the year, but that's going to depend on travel schedules and things like that, because going Midwest is a lot harder than going to Tennessee or staying here in Florida. So I hope that you guys enjoyed this little 10-minute video. I hope that there is some sort of benefit to you here. I am really looking forward to the streaming aspect of things from the house. We will be able to do multiple cameras, be able to do a whole lot more there than what we can currently do at the studio because it has better upload speeds than the studio for some reason. I don't know why. Comcast is Comcast, but last stream test done at that house was getting 100 to 150 megabytes up. And at the studio, we get about 40. So having multiple cameras streaming in 4K and doing all that gets kind of taxing on the internet. So with that being said, guys, if you don't follow us on Twitch and you're into gaming and you would like to hang out with us while we stream on Twitch, it's To Be Better Podcast on Twitch. If you would like to play with us, you have to do that through the Patreon, because we released our gamer tags in Discord, so that we'll be able to interact and do things that way. We are looking for other games. Among Us is probably going to be the next one that we get into, because we've gotten a lot of requests for that. And we're getting a lot of requests for horror games, which I'm not really sure I'm going to do. The Baked Conspiracy Theories with Peaches and our friends Sean and Jacob went live on Patreon earlier this month. Got a lot of really good reviews on that. We are planning the next one for there as well. So as much as this seems like a plug for Patreon, it's not. This is an actual vlog trying to keep you guys updated on what's going on in our lives. And I really wanted to have that little 5-minute brief conversation, and I figured it would be better on here and then posted to TikTok versus just posted to TikTok and shared. So with that being said, guys, thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you next week.